Hello, I'm Matthew Pfeiffer with MattPfeifferCoaching.com. Thank you for tuning into my YouTube channel. On this channel, I talk about all things narcissism. I answer questions from people who view this channel, who write in, and if you have a question that you would like to ask me pertaining to a narcissistic loved one, a narcissistic family member, narcissistic boss, doesn't really matter who it is, you can send it to justaskmatt@mattpfeiffercoaching.com, and I would be happy to answer it right here on YouTube. However, if you would like for my help quicker, you can always book a paid coaching session by going to justaskmatt@mattpfeiffercoaching.com. That's the fastest way to get a hold of me. I will get to your email eventually if you send it in. However, I do have paid coaching clients that I have to get to first. And I get a lot of emails on here. I get a lot of DMs on both Instagram and TikTok and Facebook. And so fastest way to get a hold of me is to book a paid coaching session. But we also love and appreciate emails as well. Just make sure your email is 2 to 3 paragraphs max, being very direct about the question that you have. And, because I want to be able to get through it all right here on the channel as well. And make sure you hit the subscribe button. Also hit the bell notification so you know when I upload new videos. And so this email is very interesting. I'm going to let me go ahead and get through it. It is coming from a stay-at-home mom, and quite often this happens with narcissists where they position themselves as the breadwinner. On the surface, it seems like that would be okay, especially if you want a more traditional lifestyle, where one person is a breadwinner, one person stays at home with young children. But quite often, it ends up in financial abuse. So this email reads, I have been going through a divorce since March of 2019, together 11 years, married 6. We have 2 beautiful children, ages 4 and 3. In our relationship, he was the breadwinner, and I was the caregiver to the children. After some therapy from postpartum, I came to the realization of how controlling and manipulative he actually was over me, and slowly gathering up the courage to finally leave until he decided to beat me to it and serve me. That's very interesting. I want to bring up this point. Quite often, a narcissist, if they feel like their grip is slipping, if they know that you are about to file, if they know that you have one foot out the door, quite often a narcissist will be the one to beat you to the punch, because they, just from their pride and from their ego, they want to be the one that they're able to say they broke up with you, that they left you, that they're the ones that filed for the divorce, and then they create a narrative to follow along with that. Quite often they'll also do this when they have a new form of supply lined up. So this email continues. Let me find my spot. Until he decided to beat me to it and serve me along with an order of stay, meaning that the kids had to stay. So forcing the children to stay within the marital home. I stayed as any mom would, but endured so much verbal abuse that after a year of staying, I had to get out. And things like this happen pretty frequently, more often than what people might think, where the narcissist does things to keep you in the home, right? Or sometimes people might tell the narcissist too early that they want a divorce or that they want to leave. And what happens when you leave a narcissist is it creates a massive narcissistic injury, and they feel entitled to punish you for trying to leave. And so he spent this year verbally abusing her. In some situations, it might lead to physical abuse. It might lead to more financial abuse. What happens is when they know that you're trying to leave, that grip gets tighter. It's not like we're not talking about a healthy individual where they can say like, things aren't working out, I'm sad about it, but I'm willing to let you go and willing to find some sort of compromise. They feel entitled to punish. So let's get back to this email. So I finally moved into my own place in March of 2020, but the judge still won't lift the stay. This man is in sales and can sell ice to a polar bear in court. They are falling for his lies, saying that I am the one that was the abuser, crazy, and an alcoholic. I have provided the courts with my diary, evaluations proving I'm not crazy and that she's not alcoholic, but they seem to just be taking his words over mine. I feel so lost and defeated. I just don't understand. Maybe I never will. What I'm hearing in this situation, and I'm not a lawyer, so I can't speak legally on all of these, but what I'm hearing though, and I don't know her state or where she's at or anything like that, but one thing that you have to understand when you're in court is that you have rights as a parent. She has rights to see her kids. She has rights to spend quality time with her kids. And if all of these things are, as she says, are being proven that she is non-alcoholic, that she's not an alcoholic, and that all of these things are false, and all of these things are allegations, as she says, it sounds to me like if you have a lawyer, I have not heard anything that you have a lawyer. I have a feeling that you're doing this on your own because he was the breadwinner. There's a chance that you may not be able to afford a lawyer, right? I've seen that. I see that over and over again. It sounds like your rights are not being advocated properly. And so I would, if you don't have a lawyer, I would highly encourage you to find a lawyer because it sounds like there's something up. Right? That, typically when you're in court and typically when you're talking about children, courts do a really good job typically of finding middle ground, right? So in this situation, it sounds like your rights are not being advocated for. You should find an attorney or find one that will advocate for you properly, right? Because it sounds like if you have an attorney, it sounds like they're just caving to whatever demands that the courts are allowing. You will probably need to find someone who's willing to fight because what he's doing is not only legal abuse but also financial abuse. And so you need to find someone that is willing to and able to advocate for these things properly. If you can't afford an attorney, oftentimes there are attorneys that will do things pro bono for people who are in situations like this. I would talk to family and friends about helping you out. If you now have a job, have a secure job, obviously if you've been saving, but that has to be a priority. And the other avenue is through legal aid, right? Looking in forms of legal aid to try to find these type of scenarios. I would, and don't be afraid to network, right? You have a fight on your hands. And what's happening here is also parental alienation, right? And he's doing it legally, right? But he's doing this as a punishment to you. This is parental alienation. And when I have someone that I'm working with that's dealing with parental alienation, I tell them exactly what I'm going to tell you right now. You got to fight. It doesn't matter if this thing lasts for the next 10 years. You need to fight this, and you need to fight this hard, right? Because what will happen if you just let this go, where you say, I don't understand, I feel lost, I may, where you feel hopeless and you don't fight, what will happen is that he'll continue to manipulate your children to where now you don't get them back mentally and emotionally, right? When you are able to see them. So I would fight this hard. If you have a lawyer, I would entertain the possibility of getting another one, but from the sounds of it, it doesn't sound like you have a lawyer if I had to read between the lines here. But like I said, even if you do, I would find another one. So with that being said, thanks for tuning in. Once again, if you have a question that you'd like to ask right here on the channel, send it to justaskmatt@mattpfeiffercoaching.com. Just remember, I have a lot of emails, a lot of DMs I have to get through. If you want my help one-on-one, go to mattpfeiffercoaching.com and book a paid coaching session. And until then, I will talk to you then.